It's currently 11:03 p.m. I pretty much just got back from Mom driving me and her back home after we left the great New York State Fair. After watching about the first half hour of a concert that started at 8 p.m. On the car ride back home, I nodded off a lot because I was tired. Yeah, but I managed to avoid falling asleep. I didn't want to fall asleep during the car ride back home. Because I was concerned that if I did, I wouldn't be able to fall asleep. After making this video. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to move my laptop upstairs to my room, go to bed, after setting an alarm for 7 in the morning. I dropped my phone a few times while a handful of times actually, more like while avoiding falling asleep on the car ride back home, and dropping my phone is what jarred me from falling asleep in those cases. I remember we found Mom's car relatively quickly because Mom came up with a good strategy for remembering later. Where we had been assigned to park. And by counting the number of driveways we passed, and remembering a nearby road sign. That, and I happened to spot it while we were going back after counting the 8 driveways. And not quite finding the car there. I initially thought she counted rows of cars, but it turns out it was actually number of driveways we passed. Or would have to pass. We were at the Great New York State Fair roughly from 12:45 p.m. to about 8:45 p.m. Not counting the roughly 100-minute drive. Each for the 2 drives we went on, first to get there and then to get back home. And throughout that whole time, we pretty much explored the Great New York State Fair. At one point, we got to a museum with a sort of interactive dinosaur exhibit. That was interesting, and I think it's the closest you can get to experiencing actual dinosaurs without 4D VR. And at another point later on, I found a sort of small museum with $1 admission, and that featured live snakes and other reptiles such as an iguana, a turtle, a frog, and a couple of tarantulas. I went in by myself. It was nice to see the animals and that sort of small sort of hole in the wall. A remote museum. Especially the snakes, since I have plans of making polystyrene drawing projects that involve snakes in the future. That'll feature snakes within environments. And these drawings will be more like a realistic photograph-like paintings, hopefully. Before the concert, we sat in that we stood in the grass for about half an hour for. Around 6 p.m. or so. There was a salt and pepper concert. Salt and Pepper being a sort of hip-hop band, which I'm assuming because right before the concert started, or at the very start of the concert, they mentioned that it was the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. Despite it being an overcast day throughout the whole day, it didn't rain at any point. I think some sunshine broke through the clouds at a few points. There were a lot of temporary attractions that sold various delicious food. There was a section of the fair that offered ride attractions, though we couldn't ride them with a general admission ticket. I think for that we had to get ride tickets. And we decided not to do that. As there was other stuff to do. What was also interesting about the fair was that we were able to see people from all walks of life. At one point, seeing a Vietnam veteran, And then shortly after that is seen in Afghanistan, a veteran they were doing a fundraiser for veterans, and mom made made a donation to the Vietnam veteran. After I found his decorated uniform interesting and struck up a brief conversation. I recall us leaving for the fair around 10:45 in the morning. While we were at the part of the fair with the rides, or at least near the section with the rides, I tried one of those water gun race Phil carnival games, and then a hoops carnival game, thinking about in the hopes of winning a cute corn dog plushie. But those efforts weren't successful still. Those carnival games were fun.